All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone to rule well. Peace and salutations to those who elect. All right, now we're just doing a little bit of reading in Ecclesiastes, the second chapter, and it was, basically going into all the riches and stuff that King Solomon had, and how at the end of the day, he found it all vain. And I wanted to apply that, for these times that we're living in, to get straight to the point. All right, we know that we're living in the last days. We know that we're in captivity. The so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans are the chill, and anybody else whose spirit resonates with these words. All right, you are an Israelite. You are the Israelites. All right, and hey, we're not in our kingdom. We're not in our state where we're not at our rest. All right, we're not in peaceful times, man. And hey, King Solomon, even though he was the richest man ever, all right, he found everything that he had to be vain. So how much more in these times, man, when we're at the lowest state the earth has ever been? So I want to read and a little bit in Ecclesiastes and get a few verses on this subject, Lord willing, it's edifying. All right, so this is Ecclesiastes 2 and 1. It says, I said in mine heart. Now we know for that, just to prove it, we know that word for heart is in the Hebrew is la'ab, all right? And it says inner mind, inner man, inner mind. So whenever the scripture is talking about heart, it's talking, the majority of the time, it's talking about your mind. All right, it says, go to now, I will prove thee with mirth. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, it says, this is also vanity. It says, I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? I sought in mine heart to give myself unto wine, yet acquainting my heart with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was that good for the sons of men, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. It says, I made me great works, I builded me houses, I planted vineyards. All right, so King Solomon, he had houses. All right, he had land. It says, I made me gardens and orchards, and I planted trees, in them all kinds of fruit. I made me pools of water, to water there with the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small cattle, above all that were before me in Jerusalem. So King Solomon was wealthy, man. All right, not only did he have riches, gold, silver, he had actual land, cattle, he had, trees, bodies of water. All right, it said he had pools. All right, you can only imagine how decked out his territory looked, man. This world will have you think that thousands of years ago people were living like cavemen and stuff. Nah, man, we're reading about he was living way better than anybody's living right now. I was just tell you that he was living way better than anybody's living right now. All right, physical, health wise, all right, land, everything, way better, man, way better than anybody like Drake, Jay-Z, or Eminem. He's living a million times better than them, man. Way better than the so-called celebrities of this world, man. All right, but let's keep reading. It says, man, what verse was that? Yeah, verse 8. I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of kings and of the provinces. I got me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. So he had men and women. It's like he hired as singers, man. So he had entertainment, he had all that. Showing you, like I said, he's living better than any of these so-called celebrities out here, man. And you got a lot of Jake that aspire to be them. You got a lot of people that aspire to be a rapper, a famous singer in this world. But like we're about to read, King Solomon, he was living better than all these people. And even he himself was like, man, this is all vain. So how much more in these times, man? It says, So I was great and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me. And whatsoever mine eyes desired, I kept not from them. So he got whatever he wanted, man, he was able to get. It says, I withheld not my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor. And this was my portion of all my labor. It says, then I looked on all the works that my hands have wrought. And we just read about everything he had, man. All the lands, the pool, the entertainment, all right, the gold, silver, the riches. We know he had 700 wives, 300 concubines. So he said, then I looked on all my works that my labor have wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit. You see? And there was no profit under the sun. So everything that King Solomon just had, all right, he was living it up, man. But even then, he said it's all vanity. Now let's go into that word vanity. Right, let's go into that word vanity. Let me see. For vanity, it says habal. Right? Yeah, habal. And it says vapor, breath. All right, vainly. Okay. Strong's definition, it says, it's not really giving me any good definitions there. So I'm gonna go to the etymology real quick. It's showing you the spirit that we're to be in, man. If King Solomon found all of this was vanity, then how much more in these times? When, like I said, Esau's ruling, these wicked, King Solomon, under him, we know that was when the last time we had peace. We had 40 years of peace when King Solomon was ruling. But hey, now we're in captivity. All right, we got this devil ruling the planet Earth, showing you that everything in this place is vain, man. And you shouldn't aspire to live it up in America, all right, in this wicked kingdom. You shouldn't care to be a celebrity or to get millions and billions of dollars. And King Solomon, he had everything, that he was living in a way better time than we are now. And he said this is all vanity. All right, so we just need to wait for the kingdom of heaven, man. Wait for our deliverance. Vanity, it says that which is vain, futile, worthless. You see, vain glory, foolish pride. All right, self-conceited. But that's the point. It said worthless, man. So King Solomon was like, man, this is all worthless. All right. Let me read that verse again. It says, Ecclesiastes 2:11. Then I looked on all the works that my hands have wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. All right. So, man, that's a straight point. And we read about everything that he had, man. He had, like I said, he had entertainment. It said that he got anything that his mind wanted, man. And he still was like, man, this is all worthless. All right, now let me see if I can find this scripture. It just came to mind. Damn. Is this it? Let me see. Psalms. All right. Give me one moment here. Let me read the top. Let me see who's this. It's a Psalms 84. It says, I'm going to start at the top. It says, to the chief musician upon Gittith, a psalm for the sons of Korah. All right. How amiable are thy tabernacles, O Lord of hosts. Let me see something here. All right. Let me go down. Point I wanted, I believe this is it. Yep, Psalms 84:10. It says, for a day in thy courts is better than a 1,000. I had rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my power than to dwell in the tents of wickedness. And that's where we're at now. We're in the tents of wickedness, man. We're in the valley of the shadow of death. All right, and you should much rather want to be in the kingdom of heaven. He said, for a day in thy courts. He said, I'd rather be a doorkeeper. So now I believe this is the book of Psalms, written by King David, but sometimes the chapters have different authors. But yeah, I believe this was King David. It says, to the chief musician upon Gittith, a psalm for the sons of Korah. All right. But still, the point is still made, man. Everything in this place is vain, man. You would much rather be a doorkeeper in the kingdom of heaven than be in this wicked world. Now let me go, because we got Ecclesiastes 2, going into King Solomon, and everything that he had. Now let's understand. Now that we understand that, hey, everything in this place is vain, right? These riches don't really profit us. Now let's understand how we're supposed to be in these times. All right, this is Ecclesiastes 12:1. It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. And that's the days that we're in now. It says, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So we got to remember the Lord right now. That's the point. We got to remember the Lord while the evil days haven't come. All right. We shouldn't be getting caught up in the vanities, the worthlessness of this world, seeking to be a major, celebrity, having to get all this money, which this money got the enemy's face on it anyway, the so-called white man's face on it, the Edomite's face on it. Like we read in Ecclesiastes 2, King Solomon, he had gold and silver. See, he actually had true riches. He actually had substance. He had land. He owned cattle, he had animals. All right, he had servants. Like we read, he had pools, gardens full of fruit. So King Solomon had it all. And even then he was like, man, that's vain. So we got to remember, especially in these times, we got to remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. Our focus now in these times should be to focus on this truth, man. Call upon the Lord, pray without ceasing, pray that we're delivered from these times, all right, especially of all hell that's about to break loose. And then, Lord willing, we're part of the elect, then we'll make it to the kingdom of heaven, man, when we're going to actually be able to enjoy life. All right. And it's not going to be vain then. All right. See, everything in this life is vain. All these cars, the dollar bill, all these bodies, it's all vain. But once we make it to the kingdom of heaven, then it's going to matter, man. So we got to focus on the true substance in these times, which is faith, man. Faith in Yahweh Shai. All right. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. Want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem